For years, STEMCO has served all of your wheel end component needs. Thanks to our new partnerships, STEMCO Duraline and STEMCO Cruisen offer high-performance brake linings and automatic brake adjusters to the North American market. Our proprietary WAVE process results in longer-lasting, quieter, and higher-performing brake linings, while our automatic brake adjuster offers patented features not available from the competition. In addition, the STEMCO TQM program provides brake foundation and installation training, so you can increase brake life and minimize total cost of ownership. This video will instruct you on proper brake installation. When it's time for new brakes, it has to be done right. The proper brake procedure involves 4 basic steps: removal, inspection, installation, adjustment. By following these steps, you'll help ensure safety and a longer service life for your brakes. To begin, you must first remove the drum and check for unusual signs of wear in the brake shoe or friction material. Visible wear is a sign there may be problems with the S-cam bushings, brake springs, or spider assembly, which can contribute to an extended brake stroke. Next, remove the upper and lower brake shoe rollers to release tension from the shoes. This will allow you to remove the brake shoe return spring. Now, by lifting the top shoe off of the anchor pin, both shoes may be lifted off of the brake spider assembly as a unit. Check for excessive end play and vertical movement to determine if you need to replace the bushings. A dial indicator is needed to accurately measure bushing wear. Any movement over 30 thousandths of an inch is an indication of worn components, either the S-cam bushings or the S-cam itself. This particular example reads 60 thousandths, requiring further investigation to determine the condition of the two components. To access the S-cam, remove the hub. Remove the retainer clip. Slide the S-cam out. The S-cam can now be inspected for wear. First, check the inner and outer bushing surface areas. Grooves or wear beyond 30 thousandths of an inch are indications that the S-cam needs to be replaced. Also, check the S-cam head for wear. Anytime you see wear through the hardness of the head, the S-cam should be replaced. Now check the spline for excessive play. Also, check for bushing and clevis pin wear. This bushing shows excessive wear. If excessive wear is present, the clevis, pins, and bushing should be replaced. To review, this is the proper inspection procedure. Check the S-cam, both visually and with dial indicator, for excessive vertical play. More than 30 thousandths of an inch requires removal of the S-cam for inspection of the bushing surface wear and the S-cam head. The S-cam bushings and S-cam should be replaced if necessary. Check the spline for excessive play. Once all the components are up to spec, it's time to begin reassembly. To begin, reinstall the S-cam so that the new brake shoes and hardware can be installed. Next, knock out the bushings and install new ones. Now, insert anchor pins and remember to use a sufficient amount of anti-seize compound. Tap the spring pin into the shoe. Apply anti-seize compound to the anchor pin and roller ends of the shoe that touches the rollers, being careful not to get anti-seize on the lining itself. and install the new rollers onto the shoes. Rest the top shoe on the anchor pin. Install the new anchor springs on the top shoe. Set the bottom shoe against the anchor pin and attach the new anchor springs. Rotate the shoe into place. Attach the new return spring to the spring pin on the lower shoe. Attach the new return spring to the spring pin in the top shoe using the appropriate spring tool. Inspect each component to make sure that everything is seated properly. After installing a new seal, install the hub and the bearing and retaining nut. When using a Pro Torque nut, be sure to install the keeper. Make sure you install to the TMC recommended practice. Before installing the drum, clean the braking surface thoroughly and measure for trueness and wear. Let's review. Insert new anchor pin bushings. Insert new anchor pins using anti-seize compound. Tap spring pin into shoe and attach the new rollers. Place top shoe on anchor pin. Install the new anchor springs on the top shoe. Set bottom shoe against the anchor pin and attach the anchor springs. Rotate bottom shoe into place and attach the new return spring. Visually inspect and install the hub. Install bearing and retaining nut according to the recommended TMC practice, RP 618. Before installing the drum, clean the braking surface and measure for trueness. Now, carefully slide the drum onto studs and snug the drum to the hub flange with two nuts. Applying the brake at this time actually centers the drum on the hub. Now tighten the brake drum to the hub. If vehicle is equipped with a spring brake, cage it following the manufacturer's procedures. The next step is to install the STEMCO Cruisen automatic brake adjuster. Remove the existing clevis, but do not remove the jam nut. The pushrod threads may need cleaning and should receive a coating of anti-seize. Thread the STEMCO Cruisen clevis onto the pushrod and install the 1/2-inch clevis pin. Do not tighten jam nut. Slide the STEMCO Cruisen installation template over the spline and swing the template into the clevis until the appropriate slot totally engages the 1/2-inch clevis pin. Once the template has been swung into place, install the 1/4-inch clevis pin. If the 1/4-inch clevis pin does not slide freely into the clevis and template, remove the template from the clevis. Rotate the clevis clockwise or counterclockwise several turns and reinstall the template into the clevis. Position the clevis on the pushrod so that both clevis pins fit freely into the template. If the pushrod threads extend through the clevis more than 1/16 of an inch, remove the clevis and cut the rod to length. A minimum of 1/2 inch of pushrod engagement in the clevis body is required. If this is not the case, install a new pushrod and cut to length. Tighten jam nut to a minimum of 50 foot-pounds of torque. Remove both clevis pins and template. Before installing the STEMCO Cruisen automatic brake adjuster, apply anti-seize to the S-cam spline and install the automatic brake adjuster. Using a ratchet and 7/16" socket, manually rotate the adjuster shaft clockwise until the automatic brake adjuster armholes align with the clevis holes. Now, insert the clevis pins into the auto check holes. The clevis pin heads should face the front of AutoCheck. AutoCheck is non-handed and can be installed on either the right or left side of the automatic brake adjuster. AutoCheck is designed to face the center of the vehicle. Insert the clevis pins with the pointer into the clevis and automatic brake adjuster and install your cotter pins. Also install washers and snap ring at this point. Additional shims may be required to properly center the brake adjuster with the push rod. Using the ratchet and 7/16" socket, manually rotate the adjuster shaft clockwise until the brake shoes contact the drum. Next, manually rotate the adjuster shaft counterclockwise half a turn to allow rotation of the drum. During backoff, a ratcheting sound is normal. Build up the vehicle air pressure to 90 to 100 psi. Fully apply and release the brake several times to check for adequate clearance to all the components. Measure the distance from the air chamber to the center of the half-inch clevis pin. Fully apply the brakes with 90 to 100 psi vehicle pressure and remeasure the distance to the half-inch pin. The automatic brake adjuster should never have to be manually adjusted while in service. The only time it should be manually adjusted is during installation or brake reline. The proper way of checking an automatic brake adjuster and the foundation brake to see if they are working within specification is to measure the working stroke. Be sure and uncage the spring brake if present. For proper installation of other automatic brake adjusters, please refer to the specific manufacturer's installation guidelines. Let's review the proper installation and adjustment procedure. Slide drum onto studs and apply brake to center the drum on the hub and tighten the drum to the hub. Replace the old clevis with a new STEMCO Cruisen clevis and determine the proper setup position using the supplied template. Install the STEMCO Cruisen automatic brake adjuster and use the manual adjusting hex to position the automatic brake adjuster in the clevis. Uncage the spring brake and manually rotate the adjuster to the specified stroke according to CVSA specifications. Refer to manufacturer's instructions for other automatic brake adjuster installations. Following these simple steps ensures a complete and thorough brake reline, resulting in lower cost and safer operation of your fleet.